So today is a appearance day of Bhakti Vinoda Thakur. Rather it was 2 days ago, but we were not there Friday. We had gone to some program. So today we will speak something on that. Before that we can chant Bhakti Vinoda Thakur Pranam Mantra. Namo Bhakti Vinodaya, Namo Bhakti Vinodaya, Satchidananda Namine, Gaura Shakti Swarupaya, Gaura Shakti Swarupaya, Rupanugavarayate. So basically the meditation is that he has taken up the mission of Lord Chaitanya, has been empowered by Lord Chaitanya, and he is a true follower of Rupa Goswami. That is called Rupanuga. Anybody who is a follower of Rupa Goswami is called Rupanuga. Here also called Rupanuga, but just a term. For acharyas like him, that becomes a real term. He put a globe hat almost. So now, as far as understanding the life and teachings of Bhakti Vinoda Thakur, first thing is that why do we need an authority? Bhakti Vinoda Thakur is an authority in our life. The point is that is there in every time. If I am sick, I don't sit and speculate. I don't sit and imagine what will make me right. I go to a doctor who is an authority. I have some legal work. Again, I don't sit and speculate. I go to an authority who is called a lawyer. Okay? It's practical actually. In any field today, this is a delusion. When it comes to spiritual field, people feel they do not need an authority. How can you say? When you are sick, you go to doctor. When you have accounts work to be done, you go to a chartered accountant. And when you have some legal work to be done, you go to a lawyer. We accept authority in every life. So similarly, when I have to learn spiritual life, I don't accept authority. But this is a craziness which has started today. People very much, very common come and say, in my opinion. What is the value of your opinion? In my opinion. This is very actually disaster. And this has actually destroyed. And then there are so-called jokers who come as gurus. Completely, these people are unauthorized authorities. Just like quacks, spiritual quacks come along. First thing, they themselves have no right to speak any nonsense. And they speak nonsense and further confuse. One joker has said, Yato mat, tato mat. Whatever you imagine is your path. And then people, they may have some material success. Sometimes you go to meet people. And sometimes you may, because the temple is coming up, we meet people who are too rich. But they think that achieving this money is some kind of a, accomplishment. And they feel more and more qualified to have their own way. Therefore, in spiritual life. The difference. In business you may be expert, but it doesn't mean now you are a lawyer. It doesn't mean you are a doctor. You may be a businessman, and you might have been a successful businessman. Correct? It doesn't mean now when you are having a problem, health problem, because I made money, I know how to. It doesn't go there. It's a different line. So similarly, you may be knowing. Sad part today is still worse. You may be knowing something to make money or something, but sir, that animals also know. What is the value of this education? Prabhupada says education today means how do I eat nicely, how do I sleep nicely, how do I enjoy my senses nicely. Somehow I work hard and enjoy my senses. Previously that was very easy because society was simple and it was not a big deal to make a living. It is not a big deal for any animal to make a living. It's not a big, some kind of a miracle to make a living. Correct? For an animal, it is not very difficult for an animal. The bird will fly, go to the top of the tree, so many fruits are there to make a living. But today, as a Kali is progressing, we, instead of creating, Prabhupada used to say, society means shanti. Everything is very peaceful. Our demands of eating, sleeping should be very peacefully met. But instead of that, because somewhere the intelligence has to work, because it is not working to access, to get real knowledge, the intelligence works for getting sense gratification. That is what is happening today, unfortunately. People are working hard. How do I get sense gratification? They are working very hard. And in that process, they don't know how to do that. They make the thing very complicated. It was not so complicated. To eat, sleep made different previously, even for human society, because it was well organized. And it was quite simple. But today, just like Prabhupada said, they think we are advancing, but they're making flyer after flyer, but they forget about the labor made in flyer. And they are laboring, that's all. But the thing is, they are advancing. And they make their lives so complicated. And in this Ugra Karma civilization, as what results, meeting the basic needs does not become easy, that becomes very complicated. And then we may have so-called education actually system, because why I am bringing this fact is that no so-called textbooks in the schools and colleges talk about Bhakti Vinoda Thakur. Unfortunately. Prabhupada said so unfortunate. He's saying nobody knows. Such a great personality. For Kali Yuga, for the guiding, he is rather, he single-handedly reintroduced Lord Chaitanya's movement. Single-handedly. Such a great personality. He is not talked about. It's actually great misfortune. And what do they know? Somebody told how to make a dynamite. Somebody told how to make. They all made all the names. But this knowledge is of what you said. I am an eternal spirit, so locked in the cycle of birth and death. Here is a great personality giving real knowledge. How you can be saved from that? Is there anybody? We don't find. Rather, we will not find anywhere. This is the misfortune. So Bhakti Vinoda Thakur was a great acharya. And he is an authority. And another thing is that Krishna says, is that, what does Krishna say? Krishna says in Athapi te deva padam bhujam dvaya prasada lesha anugrihite ehevi janati tattvam bhagavan mahimno natu eva api chiram vachinam. Krishna can only be known by his mercy. How does Krishna give mercy? Not directly. Through his great acharyas. And that is how it happens. Through the mercy of the acharyas, we can know Krishna. We cannot know Krishna directly. So therefore, the acharyas play a role. Samsara Davana Vedaloka Taranaya Karunya Ghana Ghanatam. They bring the mercy. They bring the mercy of Krishna to the living entities. So we need these authorities. In fact, there is one more shloka which says, Tarka apratishtaha shrutaya vivinnaha. It says just by argument we cannot understand. Dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam mahajano yenikatah savantaha. The conclusions of scripture are very confidential, which are hidden in the heart of a pure devotee. Dharmasya tattva nihitam guhaya mahajano yenikatah savantaha. Only by serving a pure devotee we can know, he can reveal the real conclusion of the scriptures. So that was, therefore, first thing we understood that why do we need a spiritual authority? Because we have to learn any line, okay? Any line we have to learn, we need an authority. And Bhakti Vinoda Thakur is an authority on the spiritual line. Then second thing, who he was, another thing very interesting about him, he was a grihastha and he was a magistrate. Many times people feel that Guru should only be a sannyasi. In our parampara, he is one of the rare persons who is a grihastha. Prabhupada was also grihastha, but later as an acharya, he was a sannyasi. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur saved the whole mission. In fact, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started the mission 500 years ago. It is just like this, like we are taking class today. Now there are some people, next week there may be more, sometimes it may be less. But the message goes on, correct? So Guru Parampara is in the same way, message goes on. But sometimes Guru Parampara becomes, to millions of followers, sometimes it becomes restricted. But message never is taken away. Because if there is any sincere seeker who wants to know about Krishna, Krishna will say, go there, you will get the message. Correct? Any time, any jiva in this world may desire, I want to know how to serve Krishna. He may develop an inclination to serve Krishna. So there has to be some source for him to go and get the knowledge. Correct or not? It has to be there. Krishna has to make it available at any time. So therefore, the Guru Parampara and his message is always there. Now, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, interestingly, in our Guru Parampara, is a Grihastha. So how do we understand this? Grihastha came to. This is explained by Lord Chaitanya. Now, Lord Chaitanya once was, when he came to South India, he came to the place where Ramananda Raya was there. What is the place at that time called? He met Ramananda Raya on his tour of South India. So when he met Ramananda Raya, at that time, Ramananda Raya was a Shudra in one community which is practically a Shudra community. And he was a family man, and also he was a governor of that place. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a sannyasi and from a Brahmana family. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was asking Ramananda Raya, tell about Krishna. And Ramananda Raya was telling, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a nectar. He was telling, tell more, tell more, tell more. And he was in ecstasy explaining. He was, Ramananda Raya is one of the greatest authority also, another in our line. So at a moment he hesitated and he said, my dear Lord, what am I? I am a governor of this place. I am a Grihastha. On top of it, I am a Shudra. And you are a sannyasi from a Brahmana community. How can I instruct you? What is this, my Lord? I cannot speak anymore, enough. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Kiva Vipra, Kiva Nyasi, Shudra Kene Naya, Ei Krishna Tattva Veda, Sei Guru Hai. So how does it matter, Ramananda? If somebody is a Brahmana, if somebody is a sannyasi, if somebody is a Shudra, does not matter. He knows Krishna Tattva, therefore he is Guru. Okay? Just like you go to a school. Now we don't bother, this man is a family man, this man is a sannyasi, this man is, if he knows, we are ready to learn from him. There is no point in discrimination. So somebody should know the science of Krishna. That is important. And another thing is that sometimes we feel that, I am lost in samsara, I have so many material duties. So how can I contribute to Lord Chaitanya's mission? Sometimes we may feel, I am not unable to do anything. Bhaktivinoda Thakur showed the way. He was a magistrate. Now can anybody say magistrate work is less? Ask the magistrate. Work has not reduced or increased. Same work. Tremendous work he had. And he used to finish all his work by half day only, actually. And then by 5 o'clock he used to come back home. He will take his supper and he used to take rest. Just giving an example that a person can organize himself to push forward the mission of Lord Chaitanya. It is possible. And just look at it, what he was. Look at 24 hours, a very big time, not small. And then 6 o'clock to night, 12 o'clock, he used to say 6 o'clock to say 10 o'clock or 11, he used to take his rest. Then he used to get up. And then he used to start writing. Until morning when he goes to office, his whole time is gone in writing, and then in his sadhana, and then he is at his office. Whole night he was awake. And I was just seeing the number of books he wrote. I did not know he had written so, because Prabhupada just said he had written 100 books around. It's like mind-boggling. In a year he was publishing, some years 10 to 12 books. Prolific writing, analyzing the whole Krishna Leela, explaining that. some devotees had attempted to enter that area. It's like a mine of books. And not only he wrote a mine of books, he also was running parallel many magazines. Literally, he was, because this thing was recognized first by Bhaktivinoda Thakur when the printing started. See, our philosophy of Krishna consciousness is that anything which can be used for Krishna's service, we should not throw it away. We should use it. And the printing started. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was the first person to take advantage of that. Because previous to that, it used to be written in the leaf or whichever place, and you have to get a copy done, which takes some time. You have to get somebody who has a good handwriting. They will hire, rather they will pay some brahmana to get a copy done, and he'll have a copy, and he'll, generally it was so less, only in temples the copies of the books used to be there. And whole society used to go and sit and listen there. They don't have a copy of the book. It's very tedious to get a copy. They will hear Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavata peacefully, and they will come back home every day, morning and evening. Even now, if you switch off the TV, both morning and evening people will be there hearing Gita Bhagavata. It's because of this distractions of Kali Yuga, people don't have time to hear this literature. Enough time is there in anybody's life. You see his life, undistracted life. Yeah? Hundreds of books he wrote. And he was using this medium, books and magazines, even Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada even started newspaper like that. How to make this work available to public. That is the whole mission. And then Lord Chaitanya's movement has started 500 years ago. But as anything, decays over a period of time. Just like we see, what do we see? We see that a building is made, within 40-50 years the building becomes deteriorated, and sometimes even 40-50 years they demolish and make the building maximum lasts generally they say for 80 to 100 years. Normal concrete structure. Old buildings are made of stone, they last for a lot of time. I'm just saying a concrete structure, it doesn't last for. Similarly, even in the Vaishnava Parampara, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then they were Goswamis, and then each generation you take around 25 years, around so you have in 100 years you have 4 generations roughly, and some around 20 generations later, around 400 years later, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, today is 500 years from the time of Lord Chaitanya's appearance. And you take 400 years before, see the connection it gives. Some 400 years before, later, after the, I think it is because of fan he have put some connection. Yes. So after the appearance of Lord Chaitanya and his mission, 400 years later, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and coming in the same disciplic succession from Jagannath Das Babaji, he realized that lot of deviations is starting, and he thoroughly exposed them. He has an authority in the magistrate also. Aula, Baula, Gauranga, Nagavesha, listed them with telling why this is the deviation. He listed on 22 of them deviations from the Lord Chaitanya's line. Strict. See, spiritual life is not a matter of sentiment. It doesn't work by some foolish sentiment. Spiritual life, we are dealing with truth. If something is not what Lord Chaitanya has taught, and something is, gone out, it has to be pointed out. So that's what Bhaktivinoda Thakur did. 20, listed out 20 complete Siddhanta deviations from the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. And he vigorously wrote, that's what I told you, hundreds of books and thousands of magazines have been published to establish the record of Lord Chaitanya. And even at the magistrate, he was just like even the DC in Mangalore, he will be also in the council of so many things, automatically the president of this council, that council. So he was also the president of Jagannath Temple, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the manager, chief manager. And he was very strict. He chased all this pandas who harass people. He saw to it nobody can, very strict. That's why it should be. Today it's all like they have no powers. And these are all unions, you cannot handle them. You used to see nobody harasses any visitor. And today so many temples you see, including Jagannath temple, harassment, you have to give money. Very strict. He saw all the seva to the Lord is going systematically in time. That was Bhaktivinoda Thakur's work. Pakka. That's how a devotee should be. And then once what happened, so this is personal, one lesson we can get from his life is that he was a grihastha, but even though he was a grihastha, he has saved the whole mission of Lord Chaitanya. Just imagine. Unimaginable. Along with being a magistrate, which is not an ordinary job. Nobody can say magistrate job is just a light job, no time. There is no time actually. Anybody will be exhausted. No, he's full of spiritual energy. And then he's one of the associates of Lord Chaitanya. Sometimes he is referred to also in a Vaishnava line as seventh Goswami, the Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And then his, even though he wrote prolifically and he has re-established the mission, pointed out all the deviations. And once what happened that near Jagannath Puri there was a person. And this person, the place is called Utkal. There is Dhruva Maharaj, one of the sons of Utkal. So this place, it is named after him. So probably he ruled in that area, one of the sons of Dhruva Maharaj in Odisha. Now this place called Utkal, what happened was, there was a person, this is in Odisha, near Jagannath Puri. One person declared, I am Vishnu. He was a yogi having some powers. He can read other people's mind. He can control, hypnotize other people. Some powers he had, not ordinary man. And generally yogis, when they get some powers, what they do is that they declare, I am God. And they take advantage. It has already happened in India, even till recently. And we don't know name, one joker was there, he said, I am God. And then went on. So this person said, yes, I am God. And not only that, he told people, send your wives and daughters. I want to do Raslila. And innocent people in that village were so foolish for doing that. So some, people, gentlemen people thought, what is this nonsense? So they approached the government. At that time India was under British government. They approached the British government. They kindly, can you attend to this? Some person is being mischievous. So that person, what he did, he approached Bhaktivinoda Thakur. The British government put the case, referred the case to Bhaktivinoda Thakur to handle. Why? Because they knew he is a great spiritualist also. He was known in his circles. It's like sometimes you may be a doctor, people know he's a spiritually inclined person. So can you look into it? So yes, okay. And he wanted to study what this person does. And definitely when he came to know this person declares he is God, this man is a rascal. You want to now take him to task. So he went in a plain clothes dress along with police also in plain clothes to that fellow. And they reached the town, Utkal. They reached the place where they inquired where this fellow stays. They reached that place. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur, when he entered, that yogi was not ordinary, he immediately said, Kedarnath Datta, I know why you come. Don't disturb my work. Basically, it's Raslila. Don't disturb my Raslila. I'll make you king of India. So you could understand this man is powerful. Otherwise, some yogis play like that. You come, they tell your name, you get a shock of your life. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur understood. And he said, my dear sir, whatever his name is, so-called God, why are you staying here? Why don't you come to Jagannath Puri? Lord Jagannatha is there. You are a spiritual man. You'll be very happy in Jagannath Puri. Why don't you come there? So he said, Jagannath Puri, what do I do? That Jagannatha, he is a piece of wood. What do I do there? So Bhaktivinoda Thakur Prabhupada says he heard of Vaishnava. We are not Vaishnava actually. Vaishnava means a real Vaishnava. When he heard Lord to be referred to like a piece of wood, Arche Shiladi Naraka Mati it is called. If we take the deity to be a piece of wood or stone, it is called Narakamati. Correct? Person is going to Naraka if he thinks like that. So he became fire, anger, arrest this rascal. And he spoke those words that what is Jagannatha is a piece of wood. I am living God. The Bhaktivinoda Thakur now said, I cannot hear anymore. Arrest this rascal. He arrested him. And they took him to and put him under, jail. And now he has to come for hearing, You can put for jail for 15 days and then you have to put a judgment, You have to hear. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was having 105 people. In fact, his wife told him, looks like this guy is going to kill us. Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, no, we may die, but I have to punish this man. And he came to the court, still he was having very high fever. And all the people who arrested were also under 105 people. Maybe probably Prabhupada said he was planning to kill them. Powerful person, very powerful person, this yogi. Generally today, yogis are also jokers only. They know something like magician only, some trick of hand. And people are shown actually. You can see, like this they do, there is a tablet in the hand, and there people have caught videos of them making ash with the hand, all that. And seeing that, and one side is that even so-called political leaders go to them before election for Ashirvada. And they are put forth. And the common innocent mass of people, not everybody has a amount of intelligence to discriminate. They just follow what is going on in the society. And when they are exposed, it shakes their whole faith in spiritualism. Isn't it? Somebody loses all faith. We thought he is a God man. Prabhupada is a cheater and the cheated. You are fit to be cheated, therefore he cheated you. Otherwise, how you can be cheated? So then what happened? Because somebody sincere in spiritual life will never be cheated. Krishna will never give faith only on the bogus person. Correct? Krishna will save. Krishna will give faith where you should have. So now what happens that Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he told him to be brought to the court. Now a decision has to be made, and whatever maybe witnesses were there, and they said, yes, this man said this man. He said this, he told me to bring my daughter, he told me to give my wife. Everything settled. And this fellow, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur told, bring a barber. First we should cut off his all hairs, the beard, hairs. And these yogis, their siddhi goes if you cut their hairs or beard. Something is there, some relation. It's another line. It's a material, it's nothing spiritual about it. So the barber is scared. He said he is himself suffering 105 fever and I will also die. Nobody, barber is not ready to cut his hair. He said, give me. So he took the shaving and scissor and cut off all his hairs and this and this. He cut off everything and finished. He lost all his strength. He said, put him under jail. And he ordered him, imprisonment for a long time. And that fellow got so embarrassed. In the jail, the god, the so-called god, somehow got some poison and committed suicide. The end of so-called god. So that is Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Not ordinary, very extraordinary. And he had a great desire to locate the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya. This is another great contribution of this. Prabhupada says, number one thing, he reintroduced Lord Chaitanya's movement single-handedly. That is his greatest contribution. By vigorous writing, by vigorous preaching, he reintroduced the whole mission of Lord Chaitanya. And also by pointing out all the sahajiyasm which had come to Lord Chaitanya's line. Because Lord Chaitanya's line, we have very, very intimate dealing being discussed between the Lord and the great devotees. And starting from Lord Chaitanya, Madhavendra Puri and all, the devotees showed Mahabhava. Madhavendra Puri and Chaitanya showed Mahabhava. And all the, ecstatic emotions were brought out. Correct? So what happened now, suppose I am the great grandson of some personality. Some Acharya, some Goswami who has shown great ecstatic symptoms. Now people generally, respect that person also because thinking that he is a, great grand disciple of that Goswami. And people expect me also to show those symptoms. So mind is so tricky, mind is such a powerful agent. It can create those emotions for you. And for the public also. It will cheat public and you also. You will think you got those emotions. Prabhupada explains in Chaitanya Charitamrita We discuss that sometimes, that an emotion of the soul, an emotion of the mind, it is very difficult to discriminate. In the mind it may come, Krishna, I am your eternal servant, and tears may, helpless I am, Krishna, at your orders. But it does not come from, if it comes from the soul, there is complete detachment from this world. Here all material desires are haunting me. At the same time, for 10 minutes that comes in front, when in front of public I am sitting, those tears come in my eye. And this is not, something, this is all play of the mind. But a person doesn't feel that. He thinks he has gone. This is called Sahajiya. Sahajiya is cheated by his own mind. When Prabhupada was in Vrindavan once with the devotees, and they were all sitting in Agan and Krishna Balaram temple, and they were chanting. Suddenly one man came, Krishna, Krishna, and rolled on the ground and started crying. Rolling on the ground, Krishna, Prabhupada, they did not even look at him. The disciple was, Prabhupada, he was crying very idiot. Prabhupada, all bogus symptoms, it can be seen in 1 minute. We can discriminate in a second whether this is genuine and whether this is. So even now it is there, you go to Bengal, these people are there, they'll hold your hand, Nityananda, Nityananda, and they will start crying. And not only that, just like actors in the movie do, they do that. In a movement notice, they don't need your onion. In a movement they can cry, and they can, not only they can cry, they will make all the audience cry. They're so expert, some dramatic actors also. So it is not ordinary how they do that. So similarly, the mind is such a powerful instrument. Not only that, it can make your hairs also raise. You leave, wow, my hairs are raised. I have become in ecstasy now. Hairs are also. Because it all happens through the mind. Body and then the mind, and then the soul is there. This mind, because you are desiring. I told sometimes when I had joined the movement, and we are so many of us are joined together at that time. So in the assembly we are all chanting. So I used to feel when chanting, if I can faint, it will be so nice. Everybody will say, oh boss, such a nice devotee. These kind of things are there. A desire for recognition is always there in any community, correct? Middle would what happens? The students go to college. Why do you get lost in the first semester generally? Because among the thousands of people now, person develops a desire for recognition. It takes some time to come to hold his ground. I should be recognized. And then he gets lost into making friends. There are thousands of people, particularly in the engineering college, there are 1,000 people. If you're busy making friends, you never end. And for what you're making friends? We have come to that purpose or what? But people get lost into that. So therefore, there is a tendency among us to be recognized. That's why we come to this world. So there is a tendency. So this Sahajism is a very cheating of Maya, which happens. And people get easily cheated. And it happened to the Lord Chaitanya's mission. Because here we talked about where Lord Chaitanya talked about the highest of things. Intimate dealing between Lord and devotees and the ecstasy and bliss in that. Correct? And that's what happened. Sahajism started. So Bhakti Thakur very clearly pointed out all these deviations and told us not to get distracted by them. He talked about real Krishna consciousness and established it with full philosophy. The Sahajiyas, they are not interested to read Shastra. They are not interested. That is one of the weaknesses. Because if you read Shastra, they will know where they are. Because Shastra will say, Shraddha, Sadhu, Sangha, and all the symptoms like nectar or devotion, the real emotions are, you can delineate from them. You can know what is their condition. They avoid reading Shastra and they want to stay in their dream world. Correct? And cheat themselves and other people that they have advanced, but it's not a fact. So this is what was the work of Bhakti Thakur. Another work of Bhakti Thakur was to find out the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya. He wanted to do that. Just like any devotee will be very keen. Prabhupada says as devotee advances, is very keen to see the place of the pastimes of the Lord. He develops inclination to visit all the pastimes of the Lord, places of the pastimes of the Lord. Now Lord Chaitanya's birthplace is very important. He wanted to locate that. And how to locate now? It is not easy. So he took out all the maps, everything he took out, and he was locating. And I guess because being a magistrate, a person of that stature, he can easily get access also. you know. And after that, he located the place. Many people told him, no way. They were not so inclined actually. Ganges keeps changing course. It has gone below the Ganges. Because that's what happens at the end. If you go, there is flood regular there in the Mayapur area. And the Ganges changes course also over a period of time. Many rivers have changed course. You know. So what to do now? So he located the place. He worked hard, located the place, all maps. And then after that, he took Jagannath Das Babaji. In fact, here again there was one more great contribution he made. You know, many people have the feeling that the dynasty, spiritual dynasty, is seminal, not by parampara. You know, they think that, you know, some people he made, I am Yadava, I am from Krishna's dynasty, I have the authority to teach about Krishna, nobody else. It happened to Lord Chaitanya's mission, one more deviation. Nityananda Vamsha they call. Actually Nityananda took Grihastha Ashram. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had Grihastha Ashram and later he took sannyas, but he had no children, no issues. Nityananda had issues. Nityananda Prabhu had issues. But the line was closed after some time. Prabhupada said Krishna always sees to it. Why? Krishna his own Yadu Vamsha he wiped out. Why does Krishna never leave? There is a reason. So that Krishna wants his devotee to be more respected, even more important than his own children. Correct? It should not be a privilege only of his children. So a genuine person should be respected for his devotion, not so-called lineage, which is not very important. So Nityananda Prabhu also, the lineage actually closes. In 2-3 generations it's closed. But these people, maybe the neighbor house, just like Yadavas also, maybe the neighboring house, because Krishna eliminated the Yadavas. Maybe there are people, I am Yadava, you know, there are people still. So Yadava, anyway, if they do some service to Krishna, we are happy. You do whichever name, doesn't matter. So now this fellow, Bhakti Thakur had two gurus. One of the person called Jagannath Das Babaji, whom he used to respect as very advanced in spiritual mind. He wrote also about, Harinam and all, seeing his real ecstatics. He was so old that, when old person becomes like this only. Actually, he was quite tall, but it was because of the old, they become like this. But when the Harinama Sankirtana used to start, from somewhere he used to get energy. And the tall figure, with the ecstasy that he used to exhibit, Bhakti Thakur could see this man is so advanced spiritual. He was the Babaji, Bhakti Jagannath Das Babaji. And then he had, in tradition, some kind of a guru, I don't know his name. He was a Nityananda Vamshaki, who used to have, they used to feel as a privilege. In fact, his son also was very advanced. Bhakti Thakur prayed to the Lord, my dear Lord, I am not able to accomplish a mission in this world. Send me a son who can help. And that was Bhakti Prabhupada. And seeing his various advanced spiritual symptoms, and so many indications, he could conclude, Lord has answered my prayer. Even Bhakti Prabhupada, once he was paying obeisance to this guru, said, my dear father, it doesn't deserve your obeisance. He was also very... So anyway, what happened was, even Bhakti Thakur finally said, my lineage is from Jagannath Das Babaji. Even Bhakti Prabhupada also, when he gave the Guru Parampara prayer, he never even mentions that fellow. He mentions Jagannath Das Babaji, Narottam Das Thakur, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he goes like that. Just bypasses that fellow. Because this kind of official initiation, just like people take nowadays, has actually not much spiritual value. So anyway, so he located the place and he took Jagannath Das Babaji in a basket. He was so old, how to carry him? So they put him in a big basket and he carried him. And when he reached the place, he had done all the diagram and everything, located, this is the place. And at that place, he brought Jagannath Das Babaji to just confirm. And Jagannath Das Babaji, just when he was brought to that place, he jumped out of the basket and started dancing ecstatically. And he said, is this the place? He said, yes. So he confirmed that this is the place of the Lord Chaitanya's appearance, and he called it Yoga Pita. That place is still there in Mayapur. So this was another contribution. And then soon after that he retired, and he went house to house to collect money to build Lord Chaitanya's birthplace. And it came in all even the newspapers that people are touched by his humility. He was a magistrate, but he was going house to house. Can you give me some? Calcutta, he collected money to build the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya. So these were his various contributions. So to summarize, what all do we learn? Number one, we need an authority. Prabhupada says, why do we observe the appearance and disappearance day of great acharyas? Is that it is so auspicious. Such great people, they came to this world. And they gave real knowledge. Today we have, and unfortunately in the education system, where there is no real knowledge, only knowledge how to work hard to enjoy my senses, that's all. Previously, you didn't have to work so hard to make your ends meet, correct? Life was very peaceful. Today it is ugrakarama. Ugrakarama means you have to work so hard, 30 years of life will go. Just after that, I know I can earn my bread. Previously it was not so difficult, it was quite easy. Even animals are not struggling so hard to make this. Any living entity has this four problem. He had to eat, he had to sleep, he had to mate, he has to defend. But animals are solving this problem much more easily compared to us. And human life, there is fantastic intelligence, so that I can simplify this demand and live a very peaceful life. Like previously they used to have agriculture. Agriculture, rain time, 2-3 months there is some work, that's all over. Whole year you are free. Whole year you are free. And there is, you have a cow, you have some land, all your economic needs are over. So the person, he saves time for acquiring real knowledge. But today, not only we have to spend huge amount of time in making our ends meet, on top of it, the amount of anxiety which is created in this world. Something happens in Spain now. Spain is going bankrupt. In India we are worried. Previously one village goes bankrupt, other village is not affected. Self-sufficient economy, village by village. Even Gandhi got hint of it, but somehow nobody listened to him. He was after self-sufficient villages. But somehow, that was a good point he got, but nobody listened. So anyway, so the whole idea is that today life is so tight, there is no time for spiritual understanding. And whatever learning we do is just to make our ends meet. We forget that actually this is not the real knowledge which I am looking for. Real knowledge is to solve the problems of birth and death. That is real knowledge. The real knowledge is to lift us to the highest platform of happiness, which comes in contact with the Lord. Correct? The highest happiness, the summit of happiness is when I offer devotion service to the Supreme Lord. That's a Tasmat Guru Prabhaddeta Jigyasu Shreya Uttamam. You approach a Guru when you have to know the highest knowledge. Uttamam. Prabhupada says there are 3 levels of knowledge. One is lowest of knowledge, which is being taught in the big buildings called universities of learning today. This knowledge is just how to eat and sleep nicely, that's all. The rest is correct. This is the knowledge. How to eat and sleep nicely. Knowledge will help you do only that much. The second level of knowledge is called medial level of knowledge. That knowledge is also not taught anywhere. That is basically to discriminate body from the spirit. That's the beginning of knowledge actually. That Prabhupada says is medium, because Uttama means topmost means there should be lowest, there should be medium, and there is lowest, medium, higher. First class, second class, third class. So you are talking about first class knowledge, but let us understand what is third class knowledge. Third class knowledge means it teaches us how to make my living together. Nothing more. Basically living together means how to eat nicely, how to sleep nicely, how to bathe nicely, how to defend nicely. That is the lowest platform knowledge what you know today. And that is all which is taught in every school and college on earth. And you can see parents every day morning will take a child to the school and bring him back. Every day. How much energy you see every parent spends on it. As if great place of learning my child is going. Sir, your child is going to learn nothing. Because without any knowledge also, bird knows how to eat food. That only is going to do with the so-called knowledge. This knowledge is not going to teach him 1 inch more. I am not saying it is it is not to be taken, but we should know, we should give it due respect. We should not give more respect to anybody. What it deserves, that much. Even ant deserves respect. Due respect should be given. Even devatas deserve respect. Due respect is given. Correct? Due respect is given. You see a chaprasi in an office and you see the boss, they both get different respect. You don't sit over a chaprasi, please pass my file. He can't do that. He has some small work. The main man can do the job. So similarly now, there is the lowest of the knowledge which is today celebrated, because Kalo Shudra Sambhava, Shudras have no capacity to understand the medium and high knowledge. They have no capacity. So that is this, therefore this knowledge, just like previously I told, outside a village a lohar used to be there, twisting iron, making lock, making some scissor, some tool for digging. Today that become metallurgy department. So similarly all these are actually what is celebrated today. Is only Shudra's different department of knowledge. Now the second level of knowledge, above all this mundane knowledge, the lowest form, is called the knowledge of Atma, able to discriminate body and the soul. This knowledge is also nice. It's the beginning of sanity. Prabhupada says people are so dull, they are so gross today. They are not able to perceive the living spirit. They just see the gross body. They are not able to understand this body is moving because of the living spirit. They are not able to understand. They only see gross. That's all. Materialistic means only matter. That they can only see dead matter, and they think that dead matter is doing everything automatically. So this knowledge of soul brings a person to the level of sanity, and this is called medium level of knowledge. Correct? And higher to that is Uttamam. Tasma Guru Prapadeta Jigyasashaya Uttamam. So know the topmost knowledge. Approach Guru. Why is it people do not approach? The reason is they don't want. They are not interested. They only want lowest level of knowledge. Even second one they are not interested. They want only lowest level of knowledge. So what can be done? And medium level is one level, but the highest level is, so what does this do? The medium level of knowledge may give you Brahmananda. The happiness, I am not the body and spirit, soul is also great happiness. The lowest level of knowledge, finally we need knowledge, because we want happiness, you don't want anything actually, you want happiness. For achieving happiness, the lowest level of knowledge can only make you happy like a pig, nothing more. The medium level of knowledge can give you something called Brahmananda, which is much higher. It's an ocean and this is like a drop. But Uttama, the topmost knowledge, gives the highest happiness, Krishnananda. Correct? Therefore, Acharyas will look for because they gave that. So if you want to understand the topmost knowledge, definitely Bhakti Thakur is one of the greatest authorities on it. And today, on this day, we should pray to him. Prabhupada says the spiritual line is very unique. It's a mercy moment. By praying to Bhakti Thakur on this day, we can make rapid progress. In spiritual line, by the blessings of great Acharyas, we can make rapid spiritual advancement. It is not something academic, correct? It's a realization. Dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhaya mahajano yen kata sapanta. So these all conclusions are there in the heart of a pure devotee, and he can definitely bless us with that. So we pray to him that whatever little we are doing to accomplish the work of his great grand disciple. Prabhupada is his great grand disciple. Bhakti Thakur disciple was Gaur Krishnadas Babaji's disciple. Bhakti Prabhupada is disciple of Prabhupada. So he becomes his great grand disciple. So we came in touch with Srila Prabhupada, and something we are trying to do to fulfill the mission of Srila Prabhupada. So we pray. Prabhupada used to say always, grandfather is more merciful than the father. Prabhupada used to sometimes encourage the disciples. They are so keen, so nice in distributing these books. My spiritual master definitely bless you. And he used to say, always the grandfather is more kinder than even father. So in the same way, we can pray to Bhakti Thakur to bless us on this day, so that we can focus ourselves. We have no excess. He is in an ocean of the kind of work he has done, the absorption. Prabhupada says sometimes we cannot understand a devotee by his, what platform he is situated, but look at how much he is absorbed in the mission of the Lord. We get an idea by his absorption, by his work that he has done. We are nowhere. We are so small. In fact, somebody told Prabhupada that Bhakti Thakur was a great Vaishnava. You could have alone converted the whole world to Krishna consciousness. Why did he do that? The Prabhupada said, yes, Vaishnava is all powerful. That video is there. Vaishnava is all powerful. He could have done alone the whole thing. If he has left something, you take it as a mercy. Something, they don't complete some work, we should take it as a mercy. It's for my purification. Not that he could not have done it. That is the Vaishnava way of looking at things. He could have alone finished the mission. Now he has given some work to us, just like Prabhupada also could have alone finished it. But if there is an opportunity to preach Krishna consciousness, there is some mercy that he has given me an opportunity to do some small work. Everything Prabhupada has made ready. The whole philosophy, the whole program, the whole mission, everything he has done. For us it is just some basic minimum level of sincerity. There's so much work we can do as an instrument in the hand of this whole Guru Parampara and in the hand of Srila Prabhupada. So with these prayers to Bhakti Thakur, let us once more chant this pranam namaskar. Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Sarupaya Rupanuga Varayate. Shri Bhakti Thakur ki